The body without identity, why anonymous figures feel universal. One of the most intriguing choices an artist can make is to remove identity from an image. A face may be turned away from the camera. Eyes may be hidden in shadow. The frame may exclude recognizable features altogether. At first glance, this seems unusual. After all, human beings are naturally drawn to faces. We look for expressions, emotions, and clues about who someone is. Yet in many powerful works of art, identity is intentionally concealed. Why would an artist choose to do this? The answer lies in the difference between a person and a symbol. When we recognize a specific individual, our attention immediately moves toward personal details. We wonder about their name, their background, their story, their circumstances. The image becomes connected to a particular life. But when identity is removed, something remarkable happens. The figure begins to represent more than one person. It becomes a reflection of shared human experience. An anonymous figure invites viewers to see themselves within the artwork. This idea has existed throughout art history. Painters often created figures that represented universal themes rather than individual portraits. They explored concepts such as hope, solitude, courage, love, grief, contemplation, and transformation. The goal was not to document a specific person but to communicate something that could resonate across cultures, generations, and backgrounds. Photography inherited this tradition in its own way. While the camera has the power to capture exact details, photographers often choose to withhold certain information. A silhouette, a profile, a shadowed figure, or a body positioned away from the lens can create a sense of mystery. The viewer is no longer focused on identity but on presence. This shift changes the entire viewing experience. When identity disappears, attention naturally moves toward shape, gesture, posture, and atmosphere. A bowed head may suggest reflection. A raised arm may suggest freedom. A solitary figure standing in light may evoke hope or introspection. Without the distraction of personal details, the emotional qualities become more visible. The human body itself becomes a language. Every posture communicates something. Every movement suggests emotion. Long before written language existed, human beings communicated through physical expression. Artists continue to explore this visual language because it remains universally understood. A viewer may come from a different culture, speak a different language, or live on the opposite side of the world, yet still recognize the emotional significance of a gesture. This universality is one reason anonymous figures often feel timeless. Specific identities belong to specific moments. Universal emotions belong to everyone. An image tied strongly to one individual may remain meaningful, but an anonymous figure can transcend personal boundaries. The artwork becomes open to broader interpretation. Each viewer is free to bring their own experiences into the image. There is also a psychological effect at work. Human beings naturally project themselves into incomplete stories. When details are missing, imagination becomes active. We begin filling the gaps. We wonder what the figure is thinking, feeling, or experiencing. In many cases, the emotions we assign to the image reveal more about ourselves than about the subject. This process creates a deeper level of engagement. Instead of observing from a distance, the viewer becomes emotionally involved. The artwork invites participation rather than passive observation. The figure becomes a mirror through which personal memories, hopes, fears, and experiences emerge. Fine art photography often relies on this dynamic. A figure facing away from the camera can feel more mysterious than a direct portrait. A silhouette can sometimes communicate more emotion than a detailed facial expression. The absence of information creates space for interpretation. Painters have used similar techniques for centuries. Through simplified forms, shadowed faces, and symbolic compositions, they transformed individuals into archetypes. These figures represented ideas larger than themselves. They became visual expressions of the human condition. Another reason anonymous figures remain powerful is that they encourage viewers to focus on essential qualities rather than external labels. In everyday life, people are often categorized by age, profession, appearance, status, or background. Art has the ability to move beyond these distinctions. When identity is hidden, viewers are invited to encounter the figure simply as another human being. This can create a sense of connection that feels surprisingly profound. The image reminds us that beneath individual differences, many experiences are shared. We all experience uncertainty. We all seek meaning. We all encounter joy, loss, hope, and change. Anonymous figures often speak to these common experiences. The use of anonymity also introduces mystery, and mystery has always been one of ART's most powerful tools. Complete understanding can sometimes end curiosity. But mystery encourages reflection. It invites viewers to return again and again, discovering new meanings over time. An artwork that explains everything may be understood immediately. An artwork that leaves questions unanswered can remain alive in the imagination for years. Ultimately, the body without identity is not about hiding a person. It is about revealing something larger. By removing individual details, artists create space for universal meaning. The figure becomes less about one life and more about life itself. And perhaps that is why anonymous figures continue to captivate us. In their silence, we hear our own thoughts. In their mystery, we find our own stories. And in their absence of identity, we discover a deeper connection to the shared experience of being human.